Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is the Sentinel watching over Geekdom, and welcome back to Sentinel Reviews. It's finally time! And this episode's a few days late, I'm sorry about that, but we will finally begin reviewing RWBY, Volume 7, starting with Chapter 1, The Greatest Kingdom. Now, I will be talking about spoilers. If you go to the description box below, you will find the link to Rooster Teeth's website, where Chapter 1 is now available to view. And real quick, that is how I'm going to be doing this. If you're unfamiliar with Rooster Teeth and you didn't see my reviews for Volume 6, here's a quick rundown. Rooster Teeth releases their episodes a week early for their paying subscribers, their first members. Then a week later, when the new episode comes out, the previous episode will be made free to the public. So I will be releasing my reviews as much as possible on time with the public release date, so that I can freely discuss spoilers and you can watch the episode so you're not spoiled. Anyway, let's get on to the review. So, this one picks up right where Volume 6 left off. The team has reached Atlas. And as I mentioned we were greeted to the cliffhanger in Volume 6 that Atlas is a floating kingdom. Now, what surprised me starting off is that right below it is the city of Mantle, which was what the kingdom of Atlas used to be. Mantle used to be the kingdom. And then, from the ashes of Mantle, Atlas rose up. Pun intended. But, which actually, thinking about it, it's kind of a nice touch to the world of Remnant. But, yeah, so worrying that they are in a stolen aircraft, the team decides to attempt to lay low in Mantle. And from the very beginning, the tension is amazing. The atmosphere is just great. As they're flying through the city, as they're walking the streets, you get this great sense of unease. Because since the fall of Beacon in Volume 3, Ironwood has become extremely paranoid. He is making these rash, drastic decisions, and they are affecting everything. And you just get this sense of fear because he is scared. And, like in Volume 4, we saw how scared he was, or we saw traces of how scared he was. And I do want to make a side note real quick. This is also the debut of Jason Liebrecht. Someone will correct me, I've only ever seen his name written as Crow. Because of stuff we are not going to bring up. Seriously, if you bring up the situation in my comments, I will delete them. This is not about that. And within his first few lines, he sold me. Yes, there is a bit of a difference, but I don't know, his voice just feels warmer somehow, like, given that he has sort of taken it upon himself to help Team RWBY and these kids, and he is Ruby and Yang's uncle, there seems to be a little bit of a warmer quality to his voice. And it's not as raspy, which isn't a good or a bad thing, it's just a note I observed. But yeah, no, within the first few lines, Jason Liebrecht sold me. So yeah, I liked him. And one thing I want to touch on, because there is a spoiler I'm trying to build up to, is the animation in this episode is really good. Like, ever since they started using this new program to animate the episodes, Volume 4's animation was really good, and it just keeps getting better, which is illustrated by the fight scene at the end of this episode. But I'll get to that in a little bit. But, we also meet a new character. We meet one, Pietro is his name. He is an old friend of Maria's, and he was the one who gave her artificial eyes, and he sort of deals in robotics, and he's a nice character. We didn't get too much about him, we just met him. I think that's part of the problem with these 18-minute episodes. There's narrative threads all over them, but because they are under 20 minutes, it's so short. So there's not really a lot to address because they have to go over everything so fast. I think that's why the Blu-rays format them the way they do, because you can watch the Blu-rays formatted together into a single feature, and I do think RWBY works better that way, if I'm being honest. But I still do like the episodes and watch them individually. Let's see, I talked about Jason Liebrecht. I talked about the animation. I talked about the design of Atlas, the tone. Okay, I guess I'll get to the big spoiler. Pietro, because we saw a little cameo of him, is Penny's father. And it turns out Penny is alive. Which, is great because honestly, I would make an argument that Penny is the fan favorite character. That's just what I'd say. She is the fan favorite character. And I will be honest, when she came back, when her reveal, because again, I'm a few days late watching this episode, so I knew it was coming, but when I watched the reveal that she was back, I did get a little choked up because the reunion with her and RWBY, while funny, was great. Which also, the humor is mixed into this episode really good. You do have a lot of tension throughout this episode, but the humor doesn't feel forced or out of place. It feels very natural, and it feels like it hit at just the right time, and it lingered just long enough. And then this episode ends on a cliffhanger. Most RWBY episodes end on a cliffhanger, with them getting arrested and being taken to Ironwood, to Atlas. And then we get the opening sequence, which is just gorgeous. I need to think of a proper way to conclude these episodes, because I'm not going to rank them anymore. Like last year when I reviewed Volume 6, I gave them letter grades from A to F, but I think I'm a little too biased towards liking this series to do that fair and honestly. So, yeah, The Greatest Kingdom is a really good start to this season. We get strong introductions to new characters, even if they are brief. There's a great sense of tension, and the animation just continues to dazzle. But those were just my thoughts. Have you seen The Greatest Kingdom? What are yours? Drop a comment down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and even sharing the video around will help me, especially given YouTube's new decision. In the description box below, along with the link to the episode, you'll find the link to my Twitter, where you can follow me and get updates on the channel, and you'll find the link to my Ko-fi, where you can help support the channel. This is the Sentinel, watching over Geekdom, and I'll see you guys next time.